Zola and Dare had been married for 17 years. They had a daughter, Neka, and a life that looked from the outside like enough. Dare had been having an affair with a woman named BC. BC was 35. She had taught second grade at the school Neka attended as a child. The teacher who gave out gold stars, who had held little Neka's hand on the first day of school when she cried at the door. Neka had made her a Mother's Day card in art class. That was who BC was. Dare arranged for BC to attend Neka's graduation and sit in Zola's seat. He asked Neka to tell her mother. Neka did. She cried, asking. What neither Dare nor BC knew, what no one in that auditorium knew, was what Zola had been quietly doing for the past 15 years. While Dare had been looking elsewhere, Zola had been building a private equity firm. No press announcements, no fanfare, just early mornings, a leather notebook, and a series of decisions made with the patience of someone who understood that wealth is built long before it is seen. When she found out her firm's valuation had crossed 60 billion naira, she was sitting alone in her car in the driveway, on a call she couldn't take inside. She cried for a few minutes. Then she went in, checked Neka's homework, made dinner, and said nothing. She had known about the affair for weeks by then. She'd already moved her personal files, consulted an attorney, and met with her board, a board Dare didn't know existed because he had never once asked about her work. On graduation morning, Zola, dressed carefully, drove to the school alone and took a seat in the fourth row, center section. She set a bouquet of white anthuriums, Neka's favorite, on the seat beside her. She had bought 2 tickets, one for herself, one for Dare. That was the particular kind of woman she was. Dare arrived through the side entrance with BC on his arm, his mother just behind them. They moved through the room like people rehearsing a scene they'd been planning for months. Dare found Neka near the entrance and told her he wanted BC to sit in Zola's seat. Neka walked to her mother. Manga. Her voice broke on the single war. Zola held her daughter's face in both hands, waited until Neka's eyes met hers, and told her, "This is your day. You worked 4 years for this morning. Nothing happening in that row touches what you have earned. Not one drop." She caught the tear that came anyway, the same way she had been catching this child's tears since she was 2 weeks old, and sent her to get in line. Then Zola picked up her flowers, walked to the very last row of the auditorium, sat down alone, smoothed her dress, and crossed her ankles. In the fourth row, BC settled into Zola's seat and looked around the room with the satisfaction of someone who believed she had finally arrived. She had not read the program to its last page. She had not looked at the plaque mounted above the stage. Nobody had. Before the diplomas, Principal Emma stepped to the podium. He told the room that the building they were sitting in had not been funded by government allocation, not by a corporate donor, not by years of committee fundraising. It had been funded entirely by one private individual who had written a single check for 60 million naira and asked to remain anonymous until this graduation morning. He told them this person was also the founder of a private equity firm valued, as of that year, at 60 billion naira, built over 15 years without a single press announcement. He said it was the greatest honor of his career to recognize her. He said her name, Zola. The entire auditorium turned. Row by row, section by section, they turned toward the back, toward a woman in an ivory dress sitting alone in the last row with white flowers in her lap. Zola rose, smoothed her dress, and walked down the center aisle from the very last row all the way to the stage. Straight, unhurried, entirely herself. The applause built as she walked until the whole room was standing. Dare looked up at the plaque above the stage for the first time. He had walked past it dozens of times and never read it. He had never read it because he had stopped seeing his wife long before he stopped looking at her. BC turned the graduation program to its final page. She found the benefactor's name. She read it twice. She placed the program face down in her lap and did not pick it up again. Zola took the microphone. She didn't rush into the silence. She used it. "My mother told me," she said, "that what you build in patience, no one can take with noise." She found Neka's face in the wings. Neka was already standing, and the tears on her face were different from the ones at the entrance. Not the tears of a girl caught between 2 parents, but of a daughter watching something long overdue finally speak. Zola nodded once. Then she stepped back from the microphone, walked down the stairs, and went back down the aisle. Not to the front row. Not to reclaim anything. Back to the last row. Back to the seat she had chosen herself that morning. Because she had never needed the front. She only needed her daughter to see what it looked like when a woman builds her own foundation so completely that no one can ever remove the chair from beneath her.